What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream repair. We have got quite the table of stuff here today to fix up. We've got Lumezin's BlendJet blender that we were told wouldn't power on. We've got Cedric's 2nd gen HomePod here that is just boot looping. We've got Aaron's radio here that was not turning on, but we've gotten that working with a little bit of wiggling. We just got to get that put back together. And last but certainly not least, we've got Alex's 4th gen iPod Classic HP edition, and they want the USB-C mod done to it. So we have got quite a table of interesting things here today compared to our usual streams. But let's get to it. We will start with the easiest one here, which is Lumezin's BlendJet blender. When they sent it in to us, I plugged it in and let it charge up for a while, and I was messing with it for a little bit. I never actually took it apart. I've just been sitting here trying to turn it on, and this is all it's been doing. So I looked up on Google flashing purple light for the BlendJet blender, and it turns out it's just a lock mode for it. So it's a little fiddly to figure out how to unlock it, but I'm sure people that are familiar with these know exactly how to push the button to lock and unlock it. But easiest fix that I've had come in here so far. It didn't have to do anything, so we're gonna ship this right back out to them. And yeah, so let's move on to Cedric's 2nd gen HomePod. I'm gonna shoot them a quick message here so they can watch the magic. Alright, then let's get Aaron's radio out of the way here for now. Let's get this iPod out of here for now. And here is Cedric's 2nd gen HomePod. So this is all it's done. I've left it here for a few days hoping it might snap out of it, but unfortunately it is stuck in an internal boot. So normally I wouldn't accept repairs on these ones because there is no known way yet. Unlike we have with the 1st gens, we figured out the USB pinout and the software and how to restore the software onto those. The 2nd gens are a whole different story. The 1st gen HomePod is based on the A8 hardware that was found in the iPhone 6, and all of that is permanently vulnerable to various jailbreak tools, and no such thing, as far as I know, exists for the chipsets that the 2nd gen HomePods are based on. So it's kind of a similar boat to the newer Apple TVs that have software issues that won't recover. There's no way to connect a USB cable yet. This is the bottom of a 2nd gen HomePod that I have already taken apart, and this is part of the reason why I'm able to repair Cedric's 2nd gen HomePod here, because I've got a whole set of spare parts. Of course, once I swap his logic board out with mine, then I won't have a full working set of parts, but I might be able to figure something out with that while Cedric has a working second gen. So in any case, this is the bottom of the second gen that's taken apart already. Here's the amplifier board, and you can see here, just like the first gen HomePod, we've got a debug port down there. This debug port goes to this ribbon cable right here, which plugs into the amplifier board right here. And right next to that, of course, is the main ribbon cable that runs up to the logic board. So you might see where I'm going with this. At some point, I imagine that is how I will be able to figure out the USB pin out potentially, and maybe make it a step closer to finding a way to restore the software on these second gens. I highly doubt it. The figuring out how to connect to it via USB is not even half the battle. Like I was saying earlier, there's figuring out how to restore the software to these on the computer side, right? There's no restorable firmware. You can't just download the IPSW for these like you can most of the other Apple products. Just like the first gen, with the first gens, what we have to do is we have to download the OTA file and then the corresponding version for that same generation Apple TV. And then we basically merge those two files together into a restorable firmware for the first gens. The second gens, it's going to be a lot trickier. I don't even know if it's going to be possible. But blah, 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 all that said, I do have a working logic board for a second gen HomePod. So I'm going to swap that into Cedric's HomePod here. It's interesting that it responds to you tapping and holding it down to reset it, but at some point I can probably use a multimeter to trace out which of these lines go up to the logic board for USB, and maybe UART too. Maybe they put UART on there and we can see maybe what more is going on. Here is a logic board. This is from my second gen, and well, I haven't really been using it too much, and so we're gonna go ahead and swap that into Cedric's here. So Cedric has a working second gen again, and maybe we'll figure something out with this logic board in time. Let's see, how do we want to do this? I think we can just pop that on there, and most of these are going to be T6 as well. And I'm not the first one in here. I don't know how far Cedric got into this. But we'll find out here very shortly. So here is that looks like that's as far as they got. They probably saw this and went, I'm good. And here is the primary problem with working on second gens. They cut the drawstring after they tie it so that you can't pull it tight back together. Unlike the first gens, they give you plenty of length, and in some cases they actually tie a little bit of extra on there. Here, they curse us. They said, we're going to make it so that only we can fix these. So only we can work on these. Some people have been able to glue the drawstring, like glue extra length to the drawstring, but I tried that. It's a bit of a hassle and more of a mess than I want to risk for how good this looks. There are other ways to tighten this back up. I'll show you guys when we get it back together. yeah, who knows? Maybe the second gen is popular enough that someone will take a stab at it. The only reason we figured it out with the first gen was because of David and Tim's Star. I only did the easy work of testing their stuff and documenting it and sending them a few parts. And all the hard work, all the smart stuff was done by those guys. Let's see, can I fit this in there? That would be a fun time, wouldn't it? Unfortunately not. Still a T6.
Your print is dragging around.
No.
It's kind of fucked up.
No.
I heard it crackling, and then I looked up.
No.
And like,
No. Yeah. Hey chat, check this out. Does anybody want my latest USB adapter for the... Well, I guess... Yeah, this is my prototype for the second gen HomePod USB adapter. Didn't turn out too well. I'm just kidding. Well, I guess I'm gonna need to spend some time to figure out why my Ender started to spaghetti. Man, I was looking at new 3D printers today because my Ender 3 generally works just fine. But it would be nice to have a second printer around to have some, crank out some quicker prints. And I was looking at the Bamboo Lab printers. And they're like sold out and back ordered everywhere. And then I see from Jeff Geerling on Twitter today that he's about to stop recommending them because they're about to take some serious steps backwards in how open they are. I think the firmware is going to start having changes where it's just basically not going to be very open source or community friendly, you know what I mean? You'll be locked into only their stuff. It's the kind of slippery slope it looks like. Okay, that is all undone. This should just pop right up. And before we just pry it all off, we need to look for where the main ribbon cable is. There it is. I can see that extra little bit of plastic there. That's where the main ribbon cable is stuck to the basket, and then it connects to the stuff up here. So with the main ribbon cable here, we're going to want to pry on the opposite side and hinge this up away from that cable. There we go. So there's our main cable. We will disconnect this. This is going to be the easy part. All we need to do is take these 4 screws out. And we should have ourselves a main logic board. Now, chances are the reason why this one's failing is some sort of software issue, like a failed update or a bug. It's likely not a hardware issue. So we're not going to spend any time diagnosing this. We know that we're going to need to spend a lot more time on that. Let's get this out of here. Let's get the working one in there without ripping things. Okay, back in this goes. Well, not back in it goes, I guess I should say. Not a very exciting repair here. We will be breaking out the soldering iron today, though, once we get to Aaron's radio. We're going to clean up a couple of solder joints, and then Alex's HomePod, or iPod, that one's going to be intense. All right. That ribbon cable came out a little bit. Just need to try to stuff it back in there. Freedom. Ooh. Okay, now we can fix that. We just need to shove that down. Pull this through. And then we can pull that gasket for the ribbon cable off. And funny enough, out of all of the parts between the first gen and the second gen HomePod, not a single speaker, screw, gasket, or PCB, nothing swaps between the first and second gen, except for this, the little gasket for the main ribbon cable. Isn't that interesting? Well, let's get this put back in properly. Nice. And then there are a couple of lines on there that we can use to know where to stick it. This top line is what lines up with the basket, and then there's two bottom lines to show you how far down it should go. And there we go. We can stick this back down. Notice no glue or anything holding any of this together. There we go. See, I think, yeah, I heard her screw fall out there or two. Alex, welcome back. I'm glad you could make it. And, well, I appreciate your guys' patience because it's, well, it's, you know, I don't have a backlog right now. Thankfully, we've got two first-gen HomePods, but those will only take 30-40 minutes to fix up. And they showed up over the weekend, so I don't count weekends as working days. But that gives me, I think those give me days to catch up. But no, that is partly how we're getting to all this today. We're not backed up. And I want to get this all wiped out this weekend because I do expect a bunch to show up Monday and Tuesday. And it just won't end. I'll never get to it. Okay, did we get them all? Yep. Let's cap them. Should I test it before I put it all together? Nah, it'll work. It'll work. Well, it's just gonna be another day for me. What is that? Don't know what that was, but I got it cleaned up. Okay, so before I spend 10 to 20 minutes stuffing this mesh into the base, just to find out it doesn't work, let's maybe find out first if it does work. Cheers, folks. All right.
I'm having trouble.
I'm gonna miss it, but I wasn't using it, so at least it's getting used. Let's get this finished up here. This is gonna be the not so fun part. So we'll put this on here first. I believe this went like that. Yeah, that's the only way the screws line up. Good, good. And we need to start screwing this in too, I believe. This goes in like that, I believe. Yeah. Oh, here, let me fix this camera so you guys can see how I'm doing this. Perfect. So I'm only going to put these in like 3/4 of the way, and then we're going to start stuffing this in. And I want to keep tightening this until it's got a bite on it. I think that'll work. We want to stuff the bottom layer in first, and then the top on top of that, so that it looks nice and even. And since it keeps sliding out, I'm going to tighten this down a little more. Don't be afraid to pull on that inner layer and stretch it out to get it to stay in here. all they had to do was not cut these drawstrings. But they wanted to play games with us. They saw us make repairs on the first gen a walk in the park, and they said, "Ooh, we got to make that more difficult. We got to make it more difficult for them while making it easy for us. No big deal. It needs a new mesh. We've got plenty of meshes," said Apple as they were making these things, cooking up whatever they were thinking. Nah, I'm just kidding. They were probably trying to look to reduce costs, and there's probably a reasonable explanation for why they cut the drawstrings short. Watch it pop all out right as soon as I get it. Alright, we need to tidy that up a little bit, and then we can screw it down. final piece. I'll glue this on, but just to see. If we are good or not. Why won't that line up? Oh, because we're doing it backwards. It goes like that. All right. Cedric is all fixed. We got it a little dirty there. That's cleanable. That's easy peasy. I'll give this a little wipe, just a brief wipe down now and then again later. Alright. We'll of course factory reset this, make sure it updates and stays nice and working for them before we send it back. As for this, we'll figure that out one day. Okay. The next long overdue project here is Aaron's radio. So, Aaron's radio was sent in to us with the front display panel not working. Surprisingly, I just had to take it apart and give it a wiggle, and that brought it back to life. All we need to do is put it back together. So we've got all of our screws here still. They've just been hanging out while we've been working on all of this other stuff. Let's sanity check that this still works the way that we want it to. Is this plugged in? Oh, it's not. There we go. Oh, we do not want 20 volts. Let's take that down to 12. Ooh. And let's see, here's our positive, here's our negative. So it works, and we can turn the volume down. We can tilt the display. We can eject that CD. Boom. DJ Guerra, when R&B was the shit. Yeah, no kidding, man. Ooh, ha, ha. Hey. That's interesting. Let's try that again. It probably needs all this extra guard here. No disc, and then... Nope. Alright. Cool, okay. It's a little picky, but what can you say for... this thing's almost going on 30 years old now. Alright. Let's turn this off. Let's unplug this, and we will put this back together really quick. Already did all the hard stuff. So this... just missing a few screws. This is part of this, isn't it? Hold up. Yeah, let's get that in there. Let's see, I believe this went right in here. Yeah, very nice. First try. And then we can screw this back together. Yeah, it's really hard to read what each of the bits are in the iFixit kit. I totally agree with that. They could just add, like, if they could just add stickers, because I imagine it would be a little non-trivial to, like, paint the inset on the foam, but they could easily just... Okay. I believe that is a happy faceplate. Oh, dang it. We forgot the button. We forgot the button. How many times can we take this apart? What was wrong with the radio? The radio simply was not lighting up the faceplate. And it appeared to be a loose connection somewhere inside because we just took it apart, gave it a good clean, put it back together, and started working fine. There we go. Alright, I'm putting this back together, and it is staying together after this. I do want these flat heads for the connector on the front here. Okay. These go in the side. Like that. Very good, very good. How often do I find blinking Gen 1s for sale? There's always some out there for sale. I'm always a little nervous to buy them because I never know if somebody already tried it and they're just trying to sell their disappointment off. Right, because you don't know if the blinkies are there because of a hardware issue or a software issue without trying a USB restore. And I imagine the average person selling their blinking volume buttons HomePod that's tried a USB restore and failed and found that it was a hardware issue might not disclose that. They already tried it. Okay. This is next. This just clips onto the front of everything, but this is screwed in. By, I believe, a couple of little guys. Oh, this goes behind it, I believe. Yeah, so we gotta turn this on really quick. Awaken, awaken, awaken. These are always kind of tricky to line up when you're not, well, it helps if you're not doing it upside down, you jackwagon. Alright, we got that open. Let's unplug that power, pop this back off. We can slide, this goes, geez, how does this go? It goes up here. Behind all of this. You tricky. Oh, and see now I guess now the display doesn't work. Now it does. Oh yeah, that's definitely... It's definitely still messed up in there somewhere. I guess I'm taking this back apart again. Okay. I feel like it's this connection, but we can take this out. Plug it into this. And see if our issue comes and goes with wiggling this or not. Okay, so the screen doesn't even want to turn on without the board connected. I'm going to disconnect the speaker. I think we know it works. Yeah, the display won't turn on without the proximity sensor on the front panel here, I think is the problem. Okay, everything is solid this time. Let's give it a good old go. Give me that. Cool. Okay. Very good. Let's drop this a few times. I know this is painful, but this is likely how it's gonna see its life getting shipped back to Aaron there, and at least it's on a nice soft rubber mat. But I want to make sure this isn't gonna just have the same problem when we ship it back to him. See? Glad I checked. Now, if I give this a squeeze, there it is again. We're on to something. We're on to something here. I didn't even tell Aaron we were working on this. There we go. Okay, so I think what we should do is maybe find a way to add a little bit of padding in there to keep a little pressure on the connector. See if we can't find a way to keep everything plugged in more consistently. I mean, if we were able to identify and replace the connectors, we would definitely do that. But let's see, I don't think it's going to be that one. Probably going to be this one. And it's whenever we put this frame in here too that it really doesn't like it. So if we put something right here, what can we use? Oh, I think I know what. I've got some double-sided foam tape here that we can probably use. What we'll do is we'll line this side here. And I see that this plastic cross here pushes up against the board right here, so we'll go ahead and give it a little more juice right there. And then see if we can't peel this stuff off. Make it stick nice. See, now is that too much? Ooh, that might work really well. Okay, let's give this a shot. Make sure all our buttons are in there. Yep. Bring out the hot. The hot glue would probably not last very long in an automotive environment. You got to think of the heating and cooling cycles, expanding and contracting, moisture, humidity, vibration. Not a good recipe for hot glue. All right. Let's test our theory here. First try, it's not working. That is interesting. That didn't help. And I know it's pushing on it. Oh yeah, that's definitely pushing on it. So why... Why are we still failing? Oh, that's hilarious. It's definitely something in here. But what? We could give all of this a good little quick clean again. I'm curious, does the radio turn on with just this? Because there's some components here, I wonder if... Okay, so it does turn on with just that, which means... it's gotta be this one. Can we make those pins a little more pokey outy? I'm just adding a little flare to these pins on the connector, maybe give it a better bite when it connects. Do the same on this side. Let's make sure all the sensors are clean too, in case they're tripping up and turning the faceplate off, thinking that there's nothing nearby. Okay, I added another little piece of tape here to maybe push down on that connector a little more too. Huh. It's not that connector. It's neither of those connectors. It's what it seems. So what is it? Oh yeah, we'll wipe the screen down. That's a good good call out. Yeah, these ones. It's they look okay. They look fine. And this side looks fine too. It looks dirty, but it's actually at a slightly different angle because we had to clean. We already did clean it, but we'll give that another go too here. It's a pretty robust connection though, so it would take quite a bit for it to not work. But you never know. You never know. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Well, the final test is to put it all the way back together. That's when it'll break. Oh. Okay. The next test it has to pass is putting the rest of this back together. No, not a headache, Aaron. Not at all. I'd rather be digging around with stuff like this on the weekend than 10 more HomePods with the same problem. Let's see what's the best way for us gonna be to get this to fit back in there. A little tilt. A little bit of tilt maybe. Oh, I see what we did. We started taking this apart. There we go. And now this can go back. On there. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Okay. Oh, while I have this apart like this, I wanted to fix this bend right here. That'll make it easier to go back together. Vishal, what is up? Welcome back. Okay, this was a little bit angled like this. Okay, I think we have got a radio worthy of putting together and sending to Aaron here. Yes, piece by piece. We're getting there. I'm gonna win! I'm gonna win! So what was wrong with it? Dirty connectors. simply just dirty connectors. Get yourself a toothbrush, give a little screw, you know, classic Nintendo cartridge stuff. I really thought that these connectors were more robust than that. Well, I mean, look at how much surface area that, in theory, would be contacting. But heat sink. Oh, geez. That goes on there like this. This went... Oh, I might have to go back to my... That's what we're going to do. I'm going to watch my last video where we tore this down and see what I did, where that came from. Looks like it goes on the back. Right. Just like that. Okay. Cool, cool. This is our very pasty screw. Let me grab some fresh thermal paste. We might as well here for this. Repasting an old car radio. We're going to use the Arctic Silver MX6 here for this bad boy. And clearly, you can't have too much. Let's make sure we got every little bit of that die covered. Beautiful. Oh, and of course I did it backwards. It goes this way. Ah! Why aren't you going in? Oh, it must be these long ones. Yeah, there we go. Don't thank me until it survives the shipping trip back to you folks. I think that's all it wants on this side. It wants a little one over there. Just like that. We've got one that goes right here. Just like that. If we flip this around, we should have one right here. That's it for this side. Top, nothing. Got one there. Got one over here. That's it for the bottom. I thought I was going to have to take this apart just to get that screw for the fan, but we got him. All right. It's not perfect, but we did get this corner straightened out pretty well. Well enough to put the screws back in even. And we've got our little plate here. This was held on with a thicker screw. Lots of screws back here. Okay. Got a little thick one right here. Maybe not. Well, gosh darn, I think that's all of them. Not all of these screws were his. Some of those were from my other projects. But I think we've got this all. Oh, there's one more here. Actually, I don't think that one was ever in there. I remember this radio missing a screw. Okay. Let's do one last sanity check here. We'll put this plate back on. Yes. Yes. Okay. That is one fixed radio. This needed to be cleaned if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a bit of corrosion in here, so let's take this apart and clean it out. It'll be nice to have the remote. Yeah, that sucker is shut. Oh. Now, I mean, he didn't make any mention of the remote, but we have it. They sent it. We might as well. Oh. I guess it's a good thing we're looking at this. Crusty. Some of the... Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is not savable, unfortunately. That stuff falling off that's the button. That's what the board uses to sense that the button was pushed. I wanted to save this. I wanted to clean this up and it be working, but unfortunately, that is a little too far gone. So I imagine you'll be able to find a replacement remote. Okay. Aaron, we can finally send your radio back. Yes. And now. Oh, I didn't even change the name on the screen. This obviously hasn't been Cedric's HomePod. This has been Aaron's radio. Wow. All right. We're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to take a look at Alex's iPod and this USB mod. We will be right back. All right. Where's this iPod? Ah. Okay. So, we've got a USB-C mod for this 4th gen iPod Classic. Alex provided the parts in the pod. We just need to do the work. Let's see. I'm looking for, since Alex has already been in here, what I'm looking for are existing signs of entry. So we'll start there, and I see one right there, so that's where we're gonna start. Come on. Come on. Oh. Okay. Well, let's try the metal one. Oh yeah. Metal makes it easy, but I don't want to scratch this up. Okay. Oof. Need a few more picks. I got a few more picks. Friggin' Tim Cook, man. Oh, this wasn't a Tim Cook thing. I'm not even paying attention. This was a Steve Jobs job. It's already coming out. Wow, look at that. See if we can't make that work. It helps a lot that this isn't the first time this has been opened. Oh, well, there goes my pick. You got this for free through free HomePods and 5 referrals. Interesting. That's a good deal. There we go. We are free. Look at that. You've got your iFlash mod. You've got a fresh battery in there. This is clean, man. Well done. Unfortunately, it looks like the headphone jack is completely sealed. Unless I can bend the pins from the other side. I mean, I can get to them from here. I don't know why people don't like the HP iPods, but I like the HP iPods. I think it's funny. I just think it's neat. I'm just trying to give these the pins inside of this headphone jack a little more life. Let's see. Alright, that's got more bite. I can't reach the bottom one though. Oh, I got it. I can reach it. Okay, well, I don't want to mess the port up trying to make it better. So, we did give it a little more bite than it's had. Let's get this disconnected so we can be free. Let's get this. Unplugged. If it's T6, I'm gonna laugh. I laugh. Oh, I see it. I'm glad I wasn't forcing that. Now it should just come right out. There we go. Yes. I'm gonna get this display off. All right, we have got our board here. Did I have to do anything with the USB mod kit? No. No, it came assembled. It's got the resistors on there. It's got the port on there. We just got to stick it onto our iPod. And run all those trace wires. But okay, so that's the next step here, is getting that old port off, that old 30 pin. Jamal, my pleasure, absolutely. Yes, of course. We didn't really fix it. In my books, that's not really a fix, but hey, we'll get you a working second-gen HomePod back. Okay. Let's get our iron on here. They have graciously provided some solder wick in the kit, but we're not gonna need that. I've got a whole roll here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and use it. They gave it to us. Let's see, is it through hole? It is through hole. So we'll get the back end first. Cool, that cleaned up really nicely. Let's get the other one over here. And we can flip it around and get the other side. I'm about to get my board mount out. This is, I don't like the dancing around. Let's see, can we just pop this off now? Nope. Oh, there's more under there. I see them. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, this should kind of come off now. Oh yeah. No, it's been coming up. Let's see, can I just reflow this whole connector off? I think that's going to be the move. We've got little plastic connectors here and there that we need to cover up, but that's no big deal. We'll get that with that. Okay. So we've got the plastic connectors next to this 30 pin all covered. Actually, you know what I could do too? Low mount. Where's my low mount? We're going to cover those pins with some low mount solder. That way this should come right up. There we go. Work smarter, not harder. Cool, cool. The hard part's over. And I mean, heck, we've still got a good 30 pin connector here if we needed it. Okay, so now we get this on here. This is the tricky part. This is the part where you run away. That L component is in the way. I can't get this close enough. Unless I'm supposed to put it over here, but I think it's supposed to. It needs to line up with these ground pins here. This isn't fitting. Well, I mean, I think I can make it work. Let me double check the guide here. Instructions. It goes against, that one goes up right up there. Oh man, I don't like how this is fitting. That's really weird. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So we should hit the first two. And it hits the first two. Okay, I think this will work. Okay, the board is on the board. And now we must connect those first two pins. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. And then the next one goes to 1, 2, 3, 4th pin over. Ooh, that's gonna be a tricky one. Oh boy. Oh geez. There's no way people do this. Oh, I put a trace wire on it. Let's see if that'll work out for us. Yes! Oh my goodness. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got one extra pin there than we wanted. Alright. No! I have to start over. They expect people to be able to actually do this? This is insane. This is actually insane. Okay, and then the fourth one. This makes no sense though. Like, hmm. Four, 5, 6. So it's the sixth pin over. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's that one that needs to be filled. This is actually like... Oh, you could remove the inductors. Shit. I should have read that. Okay, inductors are gone. I hope we don't need those. So now we just need to get that last one. We got two of them. Just can't reach that last one. Ah, dang it. I don't think I'm going to be able to reach that with my conical tip here. I'm going to have to acquire a finer tip for my iron in order to get that last one. Because it's way in there. Let's see if I can focus the camera. So we got the first one, which goes to these first two pins. We got the second one, which goes to pin number 4, right there. But this last one right in here, that goes to that pin, and I can't quite reach that. I'm going to have to purchase another soldering iron for this. Or not a whole iron, I'm just gonna need a new tip at least. But I have needed to get more tips for this pine sill. I've just been rocking what it was shipped with, so. Let's see, is there anything else that we can do to this now? Or will we need to wait? We got the holes. We don't need the extra ground connection because this is a 4th gen. Enameled wire. Take a break. Yeah, no, I'm not taking a break. Oh, he doesn't tell you where it's, where the 5th gen, or where the 5-volt trace is on the 4th gen. How are we supposed to... How are we supposed to give this 5 volts if you won't tell me where it's coming from? I guess I'd have to turn it on and find out. Okay. Folks, I think this is a good time to stop. I'm not exactly frustrated yet, but I'm feeling it. I'm gonna do a little bit of more research and see if we can't find where the 4-volt or the 5-volt line is on the 4th gen. And I'm going to order ourselves a fine tip so we can get to that last pin in between there, because we got those first two. I'm actually really surprised we got those first two. That second one's looking real close to the others, but we can actually sanity check that that's good here really quick. Man, with stuff this small, I might need to upgrade my camera too. Okay, so I just want to make sure that this pin is only connected to pin number 4 on the board. No, it is connected to pin number 3 and 4 on the board, not just pin 4 on the board. Okay. Yeah, I think the best move here is for us to order ourselves a fine tip for our pine sill. That way we can come back to this with more precision. Maybe we'll just take this whole port back off. That way we can scoot it up now that we've got L31 and L32 out of the way. And that'll make this a little easier even then. And yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good stream if you ask me. We figured out Lumezin's BlendJet blender. I hope that helps someone else out there. It's just a quick little, did you know? We got Cedric's 2nd gen HomePod with a replacement logic board. We've got Aaron's radio put together and working. And we have made some progress on Alex's iPod here. So I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair. And I'm going to go order some more stuff so we can finish this. And I hope to catch you in that next episode.